1, 2, 4.
My name is Ray Daniel.
Got reflections on my wall.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. My name is Ray Daniel, and I think I'm really crazy. Call me crazy! 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 Call me crazy!
What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 275, if you can believe it. Which I can't, because 275 is a long time. But anyways, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you're watching. Big news on the, what I want to say, the situation concerning public access in the channels is you are now currently going to be watching me on one channel Wednesdays and Fridays at midnight, I believe, for the next season. But the point being is that I'm only going to be allowed 1 hour for programming, and what they have done, they have cut back a lot of hours for all the producers who have TV shows at public access, and the television is also one of them, which brings me back to public access not getting no funding, which is because several factors are into play here. Okay, we remember all back in the good old days, back in the late 80s, early 90s, public access at one point, it wasn't as it is now. Back in the early 90s and late 80s, cable back then was not how the cable is now. Back then, cable was consisted maybe 20 extra channels. You had your HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, the movie channel. Do you remember that? I remember the movie channel. You remember the movie channel? I remember the movie channel. You remember. But back then, so back in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, when you saw public access, there was a lot of stuff that you could watch, including the infamous Forbidden Zone. Well, remember that. This is pre-end of television. Pre-end of television. And which in itself, end of television is already 10 years old when I consider it still a new show. But anyways, public access is dwindling down, and I always say this, I will not ever do another farewell public access show ever, because I already had done 2 or 3 of them, so I don't need to do another one. So God forbid public access does ever get shut down, which I hope it doesn't, but you know, maybe the inevitable will happen. What was I talking about? Oh, anyways, I just had a brain fart. But public access is still here, so I'm here. So episode 275, and another reason I wanted to film today was there's a couple of things that had happened. 2 things that had happened recently. That's in. I'll see you later. Oh, I'll check you later. I'll see you later. I'm stupid. Anyway, dude, can I get start over? I get the more. What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 275. Can you believe it, folks? I can't. I know you people out there can't, because I know you guys don't keep track of how many episodes or how long we've been doing this thing that we call public access. Recently in the news, public access has gone down from 4 channels at one point. In its heyday, public access in Tucson, its heyday was on 4 channels. Now as we speak, it's only on 1 channel, and that channel is 20, I believe. Channel 20, which, call me crazy, is Wednesdays and Fridays at midnight. And the television, I believe, is Tuesdays and Thursdays. No, Saturdays at 6 o'clock 30. I'm a moron. I'm going to be there tomorrow. Saturdays at 6:30 on the television. I keep on thinking on the television is a tape show, but duh, I'm an idiot. Anyways, so this is episode 275, and recently 2 other things that happened in the news that have been getting a lot of, that's been, what had happened, oh God. Hey, guess what? I just smoked some spice, guys, so that's why I feel real giddy. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't smoke no spice or potpourri or K2 or, I didn't smoke any of that, guys. Episode 275. So 2 things that happened. The Supreme Court has said that the SB 1070 act or law or whatever you want to fucking call it, that Jan Brewer had written up last year, some parts of it the Supreme Court have ruled unconstitutional, but some other stuff was not, and I don't know. It gets a huge legal clusterfuck. Because all I know that Jan Brewer has been fucking up the state. It's bad enough that the entire country is going through so many, what's the word, upheaval. You know, sure, I know we're in peacetime here, but we tend to forget that there's soldiers fighting in Iraq, Afghanistan, and we tend to forget that. And there's a bigger picture out there. So, oh man, I'm totally off track here, guys. I cannot remember what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I know why I can't remember what I'm talking about. Because I've been smoking too much spice. No, seriously, folks. The SB 1070 bill makes it legal or illegal for police officers to search you and deem if you're an immigrant or illegal alien, and it gets another version, I believe, of racial profiling. And what irks me the most is that the rest of the country looked down upon Arizona, and they can say, you know, Jan Brewer is a fucked up bitch. Her party that she represents are a bunch of crooks. I don't even have to name the party what she represents, because we all know what party that is. She's a whore. I'll see you later. I'll be back in 1 minute. Hola, I'm back. Anyway, I was previously talking about the SB 1070 law, legal situation, that stupid lady up there who currently Governor Jan Brewer, who does not have a single clue of what is going on with the normal everyday people of Arizona. Because basically for me, guys, and I don't know if it is true, but I like to believe it is, she doesn't know what it takes to be surviving out in other cities and other villages and other towns in Arizona, other than her little fortress that she has up in Phoenix, Arizona. But anyways, I just hate Jan Brewer. She's a mean little old lady She's a horrible person. Good riddance when she steps down whenever she's forced out of office, hopefully. And you know what? She gets another line. She gets another person in a long line of dumb fucks who are allowed to be elected into office here in this great state of ours. Because I love Arizona, I love USA, I love everything about it. But if people like Jan Brewer, who fuck things up, gets for too many of us. And it gets not her too, but it can start with her. And while I'm at it, you know what? Fuck Joe Arpaio too, the Maricopa County Sheriff guy. He gets the fucking old ass idiot who has no clue what's going on either. I think he's too old to be a sheriff anyways. And toughest sheriff in the U.S. my ass. You wouldn't last a fucking day in Tucson with the real thugs. Just kidding. Second thing I want to talk about is that Obamacare is now going to be into law 2 years from now. In 2014, it will be basically what it means. You will need to get health insurance by the year 2014. Otherwise, you're breaking the law. So if you don't have health insurance 2 years from now, you're breaking the law, and you will be penalized. And it gets very intricate, guys, because it's going to be several thousand pages get to learn what the whole Obamacare package. But what it comes down to, what hopefully is going to happen, is that all insurance policies and insurance companies will be in competition. So hopefully that'll drive prices down, and it won't be so ridiculous with these bills that these hospitals and clinics charges for these small-time visits. Because I know people who have been into ER, only been in there for 10 minutes, and they got charged $3,000. So it's ridiculous. And I'm speaking from experience, because I take medication every month, every day, and I've been taking medication every day, and my medication is very expensive. So 2 years from now, to say maybe if my medication went down half or what it is now, then so fucking be it, you know. And I also found out too that the price is gonna be a lot different to hopefully 2 years from now. Whereas as a healthy young adult male, he can right now would have to pay around $100 and some a month for health insurance. But hopefully 2 years from now, when it all goes into effect, people like that will only have to pay $14, $17 a month. Because you know what, folks? There are a lot of people, and I mean, I'm not talking about hundreds. I ain't talking about thousands. I am talking about millions and millions of Americans who do not have health insurance. They can't afford it. They want to afford it. They can't afford it. They can't afford it for their families. And it gets crazy because to think in other countries they had universal health care. There's so many countries out there now that help their citizens straight out and right out that the economy doesn't suffer, that the infrastructure is still the same, everybody's taken care of. And in here in the U.S., and God bless the USA forever and ever, forever and ever, it just seems like there are certain people who deserve to be getting that health insurance for the rest of their lives at a cheap rate, and that's every U.S. citizen. You know, it gets the shame that these kids who can't afford cancer treatment just because the operation's going to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people who can't afford their medication because they have not normal diseases. I'm not calling any disease normal, but everybody has either high cholesterol, hypertension, you know, diabetic, you know, or anyone asthmatic, you know. The list goes on, but after a while, you know, you might have several things or several health issues, and when those several health issues, medications add up, and then it gets to be quite a bundle at the beginning or at the end of every month. And it gets a shame that they just cannot do it, because you know what it is, folks? It gets, now in this state, how this country is, and we're still the greatest fucking country in the earth, in the world, but it just seems like in years to come, and I'm not saying next year, I'm not saying 2014, but I'm just saying that in the years to come, the direction that the U.S. is going in, it seems like you're either going to be in two social classes, or you're going to be either super rich, or you're going to either be super poor. You know, and it's going to be a deep division. You know, no one seems to realize that, because you know, millions of people are beating the system when millions of people need to be helped by the system who are not getting the help by the system. And you know, and it's just like what they say, people aren't looking for a handout, they're just looking for a hand. You know, because who wouldn't want to have a booth, say you're in a tight situation in your life and you totally need a booth to be holding your head above water, like they say, you know. Because I know a lot of people like that, you know. And I'm lucky and I'm blessed, and I know we all are too out there in this great country of ours. But it gets people like Jan Brewer who fucks it up. The politics in this country is outrageous. It's stupid. The money they spend on these campaigns to be elected for these small offices, and I'm not saying that they're not important, you know, congressional districts and being voted a senator for other states, and being a member of the House of Representatives, and you know, all the offices that the politicians have to run for. But it gets ridiculous how much time and money they spend on just trying to have this power to be a politician for a 2-year run. You know, we all know who's going to be securing the Republican nomination pretty soon, and that's going to be Mitt Romney, who I personally, guys, I have not read or heard a single thing about him because I refuse to. I guess my life is better without reading about any of all his party's policies and all that. Because it got down to a point where I believe a lot of people who do join the Republican Party are only joining the Republican Party is not for the ideology of what they represent for the policies, but to say how rich can I be, or how rich can my family get, or how rich can I be if I join the Republican Party. Because basically, we all know the Republican Party are big on easy cuts for the wealthy. You know, they firmly believe that the wealthy should not be taxed at all, which is fucking wrong. Because apparently those are the people who've been running the country for far too long. I know we have a Democratic president, you know, who's done wonderful things for the country. He's done more in the past 4 years than what George W. Bush ever did in the previous 8. And who, by the way, still and will always remain a fucking moron is George W. Bush. Fucking idiot. Anyways, episode 275. It's been a long day. And once again, I want to tell the U.S. of A. Happy 4th of July. A couple days ago, 2 days ago, it was America's birthday, 4th of July, and everybody had a blast, and I'm glad. But we just cannot ever forget what this country stands for: unity and democracy, not fucking deep divisions between people in this country. Because there's a lot of resentment and bitterness out there now, and you can see it everywhere now. And the price of gas, you know, I'm glad it's going down, guys, you know, but, you know, it only lasts for so long, you know. And once again, I have inside sources who are saying that Obama is going to lose this his re-election bid. You know, I know some people who are convinced. You know, hey guys, I was convinced that John McCain was going to win and beat him, but Obama won. But maybe the table will be turned this time around, which I hope. I hope not. I hope Obama stays president. But it just saddens me to see how much money they spend. I'm talking about staggering amounts of money they spend on trying to be reelected. Mitt Romney right now, I think it's 50, 70, 80, 100 million he already raised and spent get to run the country for 4 years, you know. You know, I mean, I would like to be rich, you know, but super rich that I want to run the country for 4 years and fuck it up for everybody else. And all I will do is, you know what would happen, guys? Here it is. If Mitt Romney wins presidency, if he wins the presidential election this November coming up, it's gonna be the same thing as it was with Bush, and be prepared to be to face those facts, because that's what's gonna happen. I think it's always better to prepare for the hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, and that's what I hope doesn't happen. But if it does happen, you know, the country's been into so much trouble with everything, and then it also made me realize is that you know, the USA has helped dozens and dozens of countries for the past 200 and almost 240 years that we have been around, and you know, and that what makes it great, you know, and we also should be helping our people here abroad, here at home also. But which brings me to this question, folks. If the USA ever suffered a catastrophic situation, which I hope it never does, will all those countries that we had to help for 200 years, will they help us? That's what I often wonder, because we're number one in helping others, but say something really bad would happen to us, to happen to the U.S., will they help us? You know, and that's a scary thought, because I think that's a way scarier plot for a movie than a horror movie, because I love horror movies, and you know, personally, I've been in a car with a dead person in there. So it's nothing new to me, guys. Nothing new to me. I've seen a person get stabbed. So what? Okay, but that's another story. But what's more scary is that something so bad was to happen to the U.S. of A. Would they want to help us? Which I had previously talked on my show last episode about the electromagnetic pulse. But anyway, on a good note, I feel happy. I'm out of here. Hasta la vista. This is Saturday night. Like they say, live from Tucson, Arizona. This is Call Me Crazy, episode 275. Love you guys. It's been a very hot summer so far. We've been into triple digits every day. Why do I feel like I'm a newscaster? Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, Call Me Crazy is on Wednesdays and Fridays at midnight, and the television Saturday afternoons at 6:30, which is bizarre.